to something that made me sad today as I watched history being made in the United States of America. That the first African-American woman, very, very overqualified to be a Supreme Court justice. And to see a bunch of men and women, mostly men, just walk out after a vote is taken. I thought it was one of the most disrespected things, and these are people who lead us in our country. And this is what these speakers are talking about tonight, folks. We can have differences. We can have differences in faith, differences in who we love, different in party affiliation. But we still should work together and help each other each and every way. And I am proud to say, Dr. and my dear friend, Iman Katiani, this young lady is going to be our first female Superior Court judge. We worked very hard to make that happen. And I'm so proud of her and her family, and of course being the first woman to be chair of this board. Nadia, you and Muhammad, I honor and love your friendship. Thank you for being in my life. God bless you all.
And next, another record, and one I can tell you, having been involved in politics and these events, one of the things that I've always felt not happy with is that we've never had a Muslim representative on a state level on the state assembly. And so without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the first female Muslim representative on, we have two this year, but she is the co-first. Is that a word? On the assemblywoman from the 37th District of New Jersey, Assemblywoman Shama Haidar. Please come give a quick talk.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. I am so honored to be here. I'm so honored to be amongst friends here today to celebrate the holy month. It is my privilege to have been actually the first elected. My votes were counted first. Chairman, you're right. But it's also my duty now that I'm in the legislature to make sure I will not be the last. And for that, everybody, all of you in this room, are going to have to play a responsible role. You're all community activists. That is quite clear from the fact that you are here. But please, step outside your comfort zone. Please encourage others to participate. Ask people to run for office. Ask them to sit on boards and commissions, because it's only when we step out and do this that there will be a return. I mean, it's not even 21 years ago, after the horrific events of 9/11, there was so much uncalled for hate against our community. There was such a wave of Islamophobia, and yet here I stand before you, elected from a district which has very few Muslims. So how did this happen? It happens because you work for the common good with your neighbors, and people don't see you as a threat, but as one of you. And that's what I appeal to everyone to remember and to do. May the blessings of this holy month be with all of us. Thank you.
All right, so again, we're pressed for time, so we're going to lump into selective categories, if that's okay with everyone. So next, I would like to recognize and have all of you guys please come up. We'll have the representatives from the County of Passaic. First, I'd like to introduce Sheriff Birdnick, as well as the Surrogate Court Judge Zoila Casanova, County Clerk Danielle Ireland Imhoff, and as well as our commissioners now, as opposed to freeholders, John Bartlett and Pat Lepore, please. And we'll have Sheriff Birdnick give a quick talk on behalf of everyone. Please. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Doctor. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. An honor and a privilege to be here today. All our reverend clergy, all our elected officials. I could not be more proud. I know that we are very conscious of the time, and in 10 years, that's one thing I've learned, is not to stand in between people and their food. So on behalf of myself and all the elected officials, we wish you Ramadan Mubarak. We wish you a happy, healthy, and safe holiday. To all my brothers and sisters, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely our pleasure. So, thank you, Judge. I cannot move forward in the Passaic County without recognizing someone who has been a force in this community and an actual neighbor, our previous freeholder, Brother Asad Akhtar. He was served on the Passaic County freeholder. And Asad, my promise to you is we're going to get you back there one day, I promise. If not to higher office. Truly one of the leaders of our community. Thank you, Brother Asad. He is. Absolutely. For the Passaic County College, right? Very well. Okay, next, I would like to, again, because of time, bring up our next representatives from the city of Clifton. I'd like to please ask to come up Mayor Jim Anzaldi, Councilwoman Lauren Murphy, as well as Councilman Ray Grabowski. And I'd have the mayor please speak on behalf of everyone.
I'm watching the clock. Iman reminded me on Saturday when we lit the crescent at the county building that I started coming in 1997. And that's 25 years. It's like almost like an anniversary party. But I'm here with two of my colleagues. I love my two colleagues, by the way. There are many, many people in Clifton. You know, we're the most diverse town in the county, and probably, I think it's, I don't know, in the top 100 in the country. And we have people of all different walks of life, and we basically all get together very well, and which is really a wonderful thing. The messages tonight that were delivered by everybody were wonderful. They're messages that just are in the heart of people, and we wish that everybody could just follow that a little bit. These two guys know that we've had a little bit of a difficult time in Clifton because of one person who's like just continues to vent hate. And I try to do the opposite all the time. And Gloria Kaloje, may she rest in peace, she was my longest colleague, former mayor before me, and we had a saying, it's all right to agree to disagree. But we used to walk out of that room laughing and being happy together. And I was privileged to be able to give her eulogy. So that's the kind of family that we would build together if we just followed what the speaker said tonight. Blessed Ramadan to all of you.
Next, I'd like to introduce the beloved mayor from Prospect Park, Mayor Mohammed Khairullah. If it goes without saying that I have to also recognize, and he could probably do it better than me, Board of Education Commissioner Arwan Soor, Councilman Ala Matari, of course, Police Chief Amir Matari, and as well as others, and Councilman.
Yes, hi. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am honored to be here with you. As a matter of fact, Chairman, this particular area is where I spoke to Imam Katanani in 2001, few days after I received my citizenship. And I said, I want to run for office. And he told me to hold my horses to the following year. And, but the following year was a blessing with your support, and the rest has been history. We've been able to accomplish a lot. And alhamdulillah, Prospect Park is probably the city with the most Muslim elected officials, even though it is the smallest in the county. So, what's planted as a seed, and to mention our assemblywoman, I'm honored to be your friend, blossomed into many, many Muslim elected officials in the county. And the first Muslim assembly woman happened during the tenure of our chairman as state chair. So these partnerships, these seeds that we plant as neighbors, as brothers and sisters in faith, are important. And this gathering is a seed for the next 20 years, inshallah. So I ask all of you, as the assemblywoman said, get involved in your local communities, because that's the real way to change the narrative about the community, is when you get involved, because people will know you for who you are, not for what the media says about you. جزاكم الله خير تقبل الله صيامكم وقيامكم وصالح أعمالكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Okay, so due to time constraints, of course, we have our religious leaders who will be speaking in a few moments. For the rest of our elected officials and representatives, I'm just going to be recognizing you and mentioning you. And again, thank you so much for taking part of this event. First off, I would like to recognize our beloved brother, Ala Abdelaziz, as the councilman of the 6th Ward of Paterson. Of course, instrumental in making sure that Main Street from Gold to Crooks will be called Palestine Way. So thank you, Ada. Next, I'd like to recognize Adam Shaban from the Woodland. He's a councilman from the city of Woodland Park, also known as West Paterson. Sorry. Next, Halden Councilman Muhammad Ramadan. Of course, here we are a nonprofit and we recognize anybody and everybody who is willing to take part in these discussions. Next, we'd like to recognize Alex Cruz. He is running for county commissioner and he is the president of the PBA of Paterson. Alex, thank you. Roy Oswald, he was the Paterson police chief from 2018 to 2019, running for the Passaic County Sheriff. And next, and finally, Belly Prempa, who's running for the United States Congress for the 9th District as a Republican. Thank you. There are so many people to recognize, and it's so hard for, this is so important for all of us to come together. I'd like to recognize a few institutions that are instrumental. First and foremost, I'd like to recognize the Palestinian American Community Center, headlined by Sister Rania Mustafa as the executive director, and her father Diab, of course, on the board. I'd like to recognize CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations. Brother Asal, he could not make it today. We'd like to recognize him as well. And of course, we'd like to recognize several of our activists who've always been involved. Brother Khidr Abu Asab from the Arab American Civic Association, and Brother Walid Wajdogh from the Passaic County Services. Thank you guys, everyone. And of course, one of the people and groups that Sister Nadia Qahf, as she is from the city of Wayne and has built such strong relationships with our brothers and sisters in the city of Wayne. First, I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Francine Ritter. Thank you for coming. And Democratic Party leaders of the city, Clark Oken and Bob Nullman. Thank you for coming. Next, I would like to now, as we are obviously pressed for time, however, we cannot help but bring up some people who are very instrumental to the faith relationships that we've built over the years. The next person is someone very dear and personal to me, someone that probably knows me since I was yay high, and now my child is yay high. He's not yet met you, but I hope that we do have to connect that. So please, without any further ado, I'd like to recognize and have come up here Father Phil Latronico.
I'm wearing the mask because my allergies decided to blossom this morning, and I'm sitting over there choking. One of the things I think I want to remind us all about is how God is instrumental in everything we do. That God is the one who orchestrates. We have just come through the 3 worst years of all of our collective lives, and also we have just gone through and are still going through the atrocities in the Ukraine. And if there's a time where the world needs to see people of faith stand together, it's now. And so God, to make sure we stood together, orchestrated all the different calendars so that right now we are in Ramadan. Saturday night, we begin Holy Week for the Christians of the West. Saturday night, we begin Passover for all the Jews. The following Saturday night, the Christians of the East join us. And as we keep looking each week and each day, another group of faith comes together to pray for the salvation of the world, and to pray for the acceptance and love of each other. We have a gift in this country, a gift we send back to the other side of the world, all around the world. We show that people of faith can sit together in harmony, peace, and love. We should never use words of violence or treachery or hatred. We need to rather build up the bond that binds all together. Imam Kaptanyani and I have been good friends for many years. I've gotten grayer than you through the years, though. My little kids, when they see me in December, think I'm Santa Claus now. And yes, you were only at my knee the first time I met you. And all of you, how honored to be able to keep coming back here. May God continue to bless this mosque, this center. May he bless all of us of all faiths. And may he help us in this year show the world that people of faith prevail with love. Amen.
Next, I would like to introduce someone who our community is very happy to have here. He is now serving as the chaplain of the Emerald Park Police Department as well as the Fairlawn Police Department, Rabbi Andrew Schultz. Thank you.
I'm watching the time very carefully. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Ramadan Mubarak. Jews fast 6 days a year, and the big one is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. And by this time on Yom Kippur, the watches, people don't stop looking at their watches. You could see their mouths are watering, so it's like whatever's happening, cease and desist. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I just want to make one remark that fasting is a means of purifying oneself. Fasting is a way to focus on our relationship with the Almighty. And so I'm in awe of the Muslim community who doesn't just sporadically fast 6 days a year, like my community, but instead fast 30 days consecutively. And to me, it's an opportunity to embrace, to harness the purity that comes from above. And my blessing for all of you is that we should know from purity, that we should know that here we are tonight for justice. We call it tzedek, tzedek tirdof in Hebrew, justice, justice shall you pursue. As a community, as a people, may we pursue justice every day, and may we live in the image of the divine. Thank you very much.
Last person to end the night. I know we're very pressed for time, but I cannot help but have her come up here. I'd like to introduce Charlene Walker from the Faith in New Jersey initiative. Thank you for coming.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to be super quick because I don't want to get between anyone's food. So Faith in New Jersey is the largest multi-faith, multi-ethnic, grassroots organizing entity in the state of New Jersey with representation in all 21 counties. We're also part of the global Faith in Action Network. We organize people of faith and people of good conscience across difference to build community and to actually build the beloved community together. We fight for justice. We do racial, economic, and immigrant justice. And I am going to wrap up, yes, exactly on time. So thank you so much. And I hope to speak to all of you at some point. Thank you.
We are going to call the prayer in very quickly, but there are people that they've been very big supporters of this community that I have to recognize. I did forget, and I apologize, the Chief of Police of Ridgewood, Jacqueline Lutke. Thank you for coming. I'd also like to recognize, also from the Faith in New Jersey initiative, Pastor Kevin Greenwood, Reverend Tuff Greenfaith, and Reverend Ramon Collazo. Thank you. I'd also like to recognize Reverend Joanne Van Sant from Ridgewood, Reverend Norman Beal from the Chaplain of Veterans Homes in Paramus, Susan Burkhart, the Manager of Service Excellence, and finally Reverend Droscher and Bishop Singletary of Oradell. Thank you all for coming. If there's anybody that I have forgotten, I promise we will write everybody's name. There is one more. I did get a text for it from the Mental Health Association, Passaic County, Executive Director Rebecca Leone and Counselor Gada Saleh. Thank you for coming. And now, without any further ado, we will be making the call to prayer. As is always the plan, you guys can start eating. The Muslims, we will perform our sunset prayer in the back, and then we will join you once we are done. Thank you again.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله